Well, a lake like Tahkenitch looks so good, you know, so much covered, so maybe that's the right approach. Man, it looks good. It looks so good, even with the camera. Finally, late in the morning, Mr. Pearson. Nice fish.
Get the scale out, Dave, and I'll see how much is in there.
All right.
I think that's probably a 10% solution there.
MS what?
MS-222 is just what we the.
So this is the general anesthetic that's used on a fish.
Anesthetic used for fish.
Okay.
And it has a real wide tolerance range for fish. They can it doesn't have to be administered that precisely to avoid the injury or over application to the fish.
Did you get that?
Yep.
So that's why it's a good one to use, because there's not too much danger of...
No side effects or anything on the fish then?
No, there aren't any side effects on the fish. 3 weeks. We didn't used to have that requirement on there. Okay.
This fish is caught in our section 6 on Tahkenitch Lake. 4 pounds, 15 ounces.
We could go ahead. I have been weighing those also. My balance.
Does it take a few minutes for the anesthetic to take effect?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's about 5 minutes.
We've been administering it at a fairly low concentration, so it's taken a while. I seem to be missing my little reining thread. The plastic one.
Problem with my culling board.
You didn't take it out of the tub. It's not sitting there.
Anytime, Gene, I'm recording.
Okay. What we're going to do here is put another transmitter in these fish. And Daly's going to continue to spray the anesthetic on the gills. We're using a xenodine preparation. We're going to make an incision lateral to the midline, anterior to the cloaca. And through the skin and through the abdominal cavity.
cold here. Instead of spray. Yeah, we're going to have to use a little more anesthetic.
Transmitter is being placed into the abdominal cavity. Plenty of room in there.
Do you know what the weight of the transducer is?
Transmitter is very, very light.
Is it?
It's we're keeping it less than 10% or less than 5% of the body weight of the fish.
Uh-huh.
What we do here, we're going to use a single interrupted suture. Coated Vicryl is the suture material. We can get it through.
Transmitter's inserted already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Using a tapered needle rather than cutting so we don't cut through that muscle layer.
How long is the incision you make, Gene?
The incision's approximately let me see, 1.5 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
I should be telling you in centimeters, but
Yeah, that's all right.
we're gonna
We'll convert it back.
Pretty tough skin.
Is the patient still doing fine?
patient's doing great.
As long as those gills are kept moist, fish can
Good.
tolerate being out in the water quite a while. The other option for tagging these fish is to mount them externally on the back, but with the bass living in such heavy cover, there's a lot more danger of them hanging those up and causing some damage to the fish or losing the tag.
Yeah.
How long do the stitches last, Gene?
These are absorbable sutures, and I'm using a 2-aught Vicryl. They will last approximately a month in the fish.
You want to slide that tub over here and I'll just set it back in there for a minute or two.
That's
Before
the
I
end of
put
the
the tag
surgical
on.
procedure. We're going to again coat it with a little Xenodine. Put her back in the tub, let her wake up a little.
You guys got some bad juice.
Steady hand.
The number of this tag is
006.
Hey, that's pretty good. 006 will go into section 6.
Planning.
Planning.
That's planning.
Fish is tagged and ready to go.
Net time?
Yep.
Place a transmitter, another transmitter in these fish. We're going to make a lateral incision, lateral midline incision. As soon as Ken holds it down. What I've been trying to do is just go through the muscle layer and then make a stab incision with the scissors so that we don't damage the internal structures. Making the incision long enough to put my finger in. We're going to introduce the transmitter through the incision. Into the abdominal cavity. It slips in. Lots of room in this fish. Lots of room. And then we're going to suture with single interrupted sutures, 2/0 vicryl, absorbable suture. Take approximately a month for this suture to absorb. Healing usually progresses fairly rapidly, usually within a week. In the normal sequence of events, within a week you can take sutures out. Continue to keep the gills moist with the solution of the anesthetic using. These sutures do not have to be extremely tight, just snug. You don't want to cause the suture to cut through this before it heals.
Well, I was just going to say that on salmon and steelhead adults, they usually insert these tags into the stomach, but they aren't feeding, and of course we don't want to alter the fish's feeding or chances for some lump survival. It's got to go someplace else.
finish off with zenadine, iodine prep over the incision. Done.
Thank you, Dr. Osborne.
You're welcome.
Tagged so the fish can be recognized from the. So the tag will know it's a tagged fish, or anglers will when they catch it, or if they catch it. Just insert it through the bones at the base of the fin and locked through there so they can't be pulled out. Has a number identifying this fish and information about reporting if it's caught, and also it says that the fish is to be released.
This is a female fish. The transmitter's been placed inside. If we can focus, we could probably see the egg sac just right here. Back side of my finger is the eggs in this particular fish. The transmitter is located in this area here. Yeah, I'll do with the pretty plastic.
Just making a stretch here.
I've been stretching for 4 fish. I figured that. An absorbable Vicryl 2-aught suture. Placing the suture within the muscle layer and trying not to go through the entire muscle wall and into the abdominal cavity with the sutures, trying to make sure that the suture material is within the muscle, not interfering into the abdomen at all. Doing this will be more of a secure spot for the suture and less likelihood of bacterial infection into the abdominal cavity.
The nice thing about tagging this time of year is the fish will start feeding real actively and getting in good condition, and they can usually ward off infections when they're more robust like that.
Yeah. If this was in the heat of the summer, it may not be good for them, huh?
Right. Or even possibly in the fall, if they were pretty inactive, they may not recover condition and heal as fast when they aren't feeding and growing actively.
Our cameraman is Dave Lauck. We want to make sure that that's entered into the history books. We may edit that out, but
Yeah. That's probably wise.
he's not wanted by too many tourists, so we'll know that.
It's interesting you say that. I was in a 747, landed in Heathrow Airport a couple of weeks ago when the Irish Republican Army dropped some mortars on it.
Very exciting.
We didn't weigh that, do we?
We're also using a tapered needle.
Do we weigh and measure this fish?
Well, we will.
That's got the tag in it. That's exactly.
Protoxenidine.
Go.
Now, we're now marking the fish with an external tag so that it can be identified visually. And this tag is called the Carlin Dangler tag. It's a little piece of plastic, very lightweight. Goes in the back of the fish. It's got a lot of information on here. It's got the address of the Department of Fish and Wildlife. It says their reward will be paid for a report. It's got a tag number, and it says radio tagged fish and release in larger letters. So we'll be posting signs around the lake to also have anglers looking for these and knowing what to do when they catch one. To put this tag in, we have to put 2 needles through the muscle at the base of the fin, and the tag is locked between the bones. Oops, you hit a bone, it won't go through. Well, that one was a tough one to get in. Then the wires, stainless steel wires of the tag, are inserted into the needles. They're pulled through the fish, twisted and clipped off, and the fish is ready to go. And this will heal up around there. Just like so. That's the tagged fish.
Goes in the net.
Okay.
Shows some external sexual characteristics here.
This will be our last fish that we tag today. We're going to make an incision lateral to the midline. The incision will go through the skin into the muscle, penetrating incision will be accomplished through the use of the scissors rather than the scalpel blade. This female has got some eggs in. We'll be placing a transmitter in the abdominal cavity forward of the eggs, like so.
Hard to do anything with it once it's in there.
She breathing all right?
Yeah, still got some gill action there.
Using 2/0 interrupted sutures, absorbable vicryl, after a period of about a month the suture will absorb and you won't see it. The plan is to, after the transmitters after the battery's gone dead or dying, we will try to catch these fish, remove the transmitters, and release them back to the wild. Maybe easier said than done, but we're going to try it anyway. I don't know how the hell we're going to do that. getting the transmitters out certainly will be a lot more difficult than putting them in.
Yes, it will, won't it?
We definitely will want to, incision at that time would definitely be larger.
Makes it nice not having to worry about these external antennas.
Yes. It's a little good. Coat that with Zenadine spray afterwards. Water for a bit. Oh man, I'm having a good time getting through these last two. Which tag number is this?
009.
Get that written down, Dave.
Hope that fish doesn't kick.
009. I don't think I had that one now.
Oh! Should have messed around.
Should not have said anything.
Well, I just didn't think I could leave it sitting there that long. Usually you can find the same hose.